Hello everyone, I'm Ivan Potato. I'll be doing this Hades no hit, no damage, any percentage run guide. And first of all, I want to say that if you're Spanish, you might want to go and check out another guide which is made by Pato Quacks, and it's really in depth. I follow that guide myself. But if you don't speak Spanish, maybe you want to stay. So, first of all, I have to say that the way I'll be doing this video will be I'll show the presentation that I made where I'll be explaining everything that you need to do the run, and in the end I will show a run, one of my runs, and I'll try to explain my thought process while doing that run so you kind of understand what you have to do when you are playing. So first of all, I'm gonna start with the mirror. And the mirror is basically you just have to copy this one. Just have to copy the one you see here, and I have marked with different colors. In green, there are the ones that are mandatory. You can change any of these. In yellow, there are the ones that you might change. You can choose the counterpart. I don't really recommend it, especially for the build that I'm gonna be explaining, but you can try and see what's better for you. And the red ones are the ones that don't matter for a no hit guide, since you're not going to get hit and they affect the HP you have, so there's no point. So following is the hit. You're going to be using this one since it won't affect anything. Everything is related to how much damage the enemy do and how much HP you recover, so they don't matter in a no hit run, so you're gonna be having this. I don't know why some people use an extra point in this one, but with these ones you already have 10 hit, which is enough for entering infernal gates in Asphodel, so that's gonna be all that you need. Adding an extra point won't do anything, so that's pretty much it. For keepsakes and companion, these are the keepsakes that you want to use when you are trying to go for a specific build. I mean, this one is for Poseidon. It's used to, so the next boon you find is going to be Poseidon 100%. The next one does the same but for Artemis, and the next one does the same but for Zeus. So when you don't have a complete build, and we'll explain that in the next image, you want to use these two to complete the 4 gods, and we'll see what that means. When you already have the build, you wanna choose one of these. So one is money, which you will be probably using for Elysium or Styx. The one is the bone hourglass, which gives more usages of the current well. And the other one is distant memory, which gives probably more damage when you're far away, and you pretty much always attack from a distance. And the other one is pierced butterfly. This one is really situational, I would say, and in most cases it's not really worth. It might seem like a good idea, but the best you can do is use these ones and go for the build and try to get a specific build. It's gonna be easier to get the run that you want, and you're gonna be broken by the end. So you want to pick one of these. For the companion, you will choose this one. You use Skelly, and we'll see how to use him later on, but that's it. Okay, going for gods, boons of build. There's gonna be a lot of text in this guide, so get ready for it. The thing is that there's one thing that they haven't explained, is that you can only have 4 gods in a run, and Chaos and Hermes do not count. They are not treated as the rest of gods. So that's what I'm explaining. If you choose this, for example, these 4 gods, which are Zeus, Poseidon, Artemis, and Dionysus, the next boon you find will be 100% of those same gods. You will never find Ares or what's it called, Aphrodite, if you already have these 4 gods. So what you want to do is, for the build, is pick as soon as possible the 4 gods that you want for the build, and then you will, and then you can just play and do anything else. So for the keepsakes, if you still haven't got the gods that you want to be using one of these, but if not, you want to be using one of these. Okay, so another thing to keep in mind is that duo boons don't appear in Trials of the Gods, but legendary boons do. So if you're going for a duo boons, which are pretty important, you have to keep in mind that you won't find them in Trials of the Gods. Also, learning the Gods boons flowchart is actually, and duo boons chart will be pretty useful, since you won't have to be, well, you will have a better understanding of what you have to choose and how you can build. And one way you can do it is by going to the wiki. If you go to the wiki, you'll see that in here there are the boons flowchart. So you can actually read everything here, and you will have a better understanding of how to build. So that's something to keep in mind. When finding a boon, there's a big chance that it shows boons related to attack, special, cast, dash, core if you don't have them. So trying to find a specific one of these is easy, as it almost always appears when you reroll. Okay, so if you are, for example, picked an Artemis boon, and you still don't have a core, and you don't find the core boon in these 3 that show, there's a big chance that it will show if you reroll. So it's pretty easy to find them in a second chance, after you reroll. So if you're going for a specific one, it's fairly easy to find. It's not as difficult as if you want a passive, which they are completely RNG. Okay, so in a situation where you have 2 doors with boons and a keepsake to force a boon, let's say for example that you have chosen the Artemis keepsake, so you're forcing a boon to show, an Artemis boon to show, and you have a situation where you have 2 doors, one is Artemis and one is, I don't know, Ares, and you want Ares as well. So if you go for Ares, you know 100% later on you will find Artemis, because until you don't pick Artemis, it will keep forcing the doors to show that boon. So that's something to keep in mind. And there's also this situation where there are 2 doors, and one is a shop and the other one is a boon. So if you go to the shop, the next door will always be a boon. It will be random, unless you have keepsake, of course. But you can get 2 boons in a row this way, since in the shop there's always a boon. So, for example, you have the situation, there's the shop and there's the boon. You almost always want to go for the shop and see the boon that there is in the shop, and the next one is going to be another god boon. So that's something to keep in mind. So for the gods that you want to choose, you want to have Poseidon, Zeus, and Artemis mandatory. They're 100% needed. I mean, usually you will get them if you play with the Keepsakes and you try to force the gods to appear. It's fairly easy to have. But you might not get it. I mean, there's a chance that you don't get all the gods that you want, but at least, at the very least, you really want to have at least two, like for example Poseidon and Zeus. Okay, so as I said before, you can have four gods in your build. So the other gods, the filler ones, are going to be these are ordered by my preference, are going to be Aphrodite, Dionysus, and Demeter. And you don't really want to pick these ones. Athena, for obvious reasons, it's not legal for no hit runs. The reflect is not legal to use. And Ares, I don't really like him, as it doesn't go well with the other gods. Ares is kind of different, and I couldn't recommend it because of this. Okay, so for the boons that you really want, there's Lightning Rod. These are the duo boons that you really want to have, and one is Lightning Rod. If you have Lightning Rod, you can pretty much do the run only with this one. I swear, it's just that broken. And another one to really keep in mind is Sea Storm. It does a lot of damage with the build that we're going. And these are the ones that you want almost 100%. You always choose them over anything else. Then there's this one that improve what the boons do and what the fruits do. So they are pretty nice to have. And this one, which is Mirror Shot, that throws 2 cast attacks, and it's good, especially for the Styx zone. So yeah, you can. This is really nice to have as well. This is an example build that I did as well. It's just an example build, but what I have to comment about it is that you always want to have Poseidon's standard attack because of the knockback and the extra damage that it does. If you also have Sea Storm, every attack that you do, it's gonna do a lot of damage. And other than that, Artemis core is pretty much the best. The other ones, well, you can try, but I would always recommend to go for Artemis. For cast, it's going to be either Poseidon or Dionysus. The rest are kind of meh. I wouldn't recommend them that much. And for dash and special, they are not important at all. You only want them to fill. You usually have Zeus as a special, since it does nothing. And it's gone. One thing about duo boons is that they start showing once you have. Well, let me show this. As you see, for some duo boons to appear, you have to, for example, have. So in order to make Sea Storm appear, you must have either Poseidon's standard attack, special attack, cast, or core, and you must have Zeus's standard attack, special, cast, dash, or core. If you don't have the ones that are marked, Sea Storm is not going to appear. So that's something to keep in mind. And then there are these other boons which are really good. One is Double Strike, that will just do more damage with thunder. Typhoon's Fury and Breaking Wave, that do more damage when an enemy is knocked back, basically. These ones are really good for Styx as well. These 3 are really good for Styx. And you have Static Discharge, which is pretty much a must if you're going for a Zeus build. If you already have the duo boons, you really want to have this one. And then there's Razor Shoals, which inflicts Raptor to enemies, and it does a lot of damage to enemies. Let's see let's see it in the wiki. Where is it? Here it is. It does 10 damage every 0.2 seconds. And it does it for 3 seconds. It doesn't say here, but it's 3 seconds. So that's 10 times 5 to make 1 second, and it's 50 times 3 to make the 3 seconds, which is 150 damage with the common. So if you have another like rare or epic, it does even more damage. If you have upgraded it with fruits, it will do even more damage. It does a lot of damage, especially for bosses. This one is really good, so you always want to choose this one. And I have to say that these three specifically lead to legendaries, which are pretty good as well. I wouldn't say that you always try to build for legendaries, since they're not that great. I mean, they're really good, but maybe you don't really, they're not that necessary for the way you have to play. Okay, and then for Hermes, which is the different god, I mean, it doesn't affect your build at all. It's just utilities that will give you. I have chosen a few ones that you want to pick, and the most important and the one that I always look for is Greatest Reflect, since having extra dashes is super important. It's going to be really useful, and you always want to go for this. I mean, sometimes I will skip Boon if there's, for example, 2 doors and you have Zeus and you have Hermes, and I already have everything I want from Zeus. I will 100% go for Hermes and try to get the extra ashes, since they are so great. The other ones are okay. I mean, Side Hustle gives you money, which is really good. Floor Cast makes your cast, well, makes you able to shoot your cast automatically, which is okay, good. Your call charges up automatically, good. This one is kind of weird to use sometimes. After you dash, you become faster, and this one makes makes you simple faster. So it's nice to have, but usually if I go for Hermes, it's because I don't have the extra dashes and I'm looking for it. So for the weapons, I'm not gonna be explaining every weapon and how to use it. I'm just explaining one build and how to play around it. And it's going to be Adamant Rail, Aspect of Hestia, which is the one that you reload and your next attack is super strong. Always pick this, at least if you're going for my build or my way to do it. And I'm going to explain a bit about it. One thing to keep in mind is that sometimes I've seen people use this weapon in a wrong way, or which I don't think it's perfect, which is they always reload after an attack, and sometimes it's not really necessary. I mean, there are small enemies, and specifically having Poseidon's standard attack, you can knock them back. I mean, small enemies are better to be sprayed than to just go one by one. Sometimes, I mean, you have to try and decide when it's better. For Daedalus Hammer, these are the ones that I want, and these are the ones that I don't want. So the ones that I want are these 3 specifically. These ones I don't care that much, since they are special attack based, and I won't be using special attack that much, but they are nice to have. So the ones that I want are Piercing Fire, that does more damage to armor, and it pierces enemies, so that's really good since you can kill more than one at the same time. Ricochet Fire, that bounces the attack to another enemy, which is really good, so you don't have to reload another time and do another attack. It will save time. And Explosive Fire, that does area damage. And these ones, you don't want them because of Delta Chamber is blocked. if you are playing with a controller, I don't know, it behaves weird after you have picked it, and sometimes it won't aim where you want to. Anyway, it doesn't really do much, so don't pick it unless you really have to. Hazard Bomb, which is, it does damage to you, so it makes the run harder in the end. Spread Fire, you don't want this as well. It does extra damage to one attack, but the rest are gonna be short, and you don't really want that. Don't pick this one. The rest that I haven't shown here, they're okay. You can pick them if you like them, but these are the ones you want. Okay, so there are some combos that you can do with this weapon. That it's not really that special, but if you want to go for burst, what you want to do is cast into special into standard, since it's the most cancelable. And then another thing to keep in mind is that loading and standard attack animation can be cancelled by dashing. So when you reload, if you are standing still, your character won't move for a while. But if you dash, you can cancel it and it will keep reloading. So reloading and dashing is a good way to move around and don't lock yourself. Also, when you're moving and you reload, it won't trigger the reloading animation, and it won't lock your character. You will be able to keep moving. So that's it. Now I'm going to be explaining every zone, what you have to keep in mind, and how to play that zone. So for Tartarus, basically this in every zone that there is. Learn and know every enemy attack. Just play the game, I swear. You really have to know what the enemies do and what attacks they have and how to play around it. Like, for example, the witches at Tartarus, they just shoot straight at you. So the only thing you have to do is dodge sideways. Dodge to a side. So that's pretty much what I mean. You have to understand what every enemy attack does, and also the armored version, and that's it. The other thing you have to keep in mind is you have to know where every trap is. Some of them are obvious, but some of them are not so much, especially in Tartarus. There are a few ones that are kind of hidden, and you have to know where they are and just play around them. Again, you will learn this just by playing the game, so just play the game. Okay, so now this is a bit more of strategy. Before starting the run, pick Poseidon's Keepsake and get Poseidon's standard attack boon. If you don't get it, you re-roll, and if you don't get it, you reset. I mean, you always want this. If you don't get this, at least get Poseidon's cast. It's one that you really want as well, but I would recommend to start with standard attack already. Okay, the other thing to keep in mind is that as you can have to guard 4 gods, as I explained earlier, and what you should do is, or what your aim should be, is trying to get as many gods as you can as soon as possible, since you can then use different keepsakes, and basically you have a higher chance to have a duo boon earlier. So other than that, this part is pretty easy. I won't be explaining more about it. Now, the boss of Tartarus is the Furies. I really won't be explaining much about them, since I always use Skelly for the difficult one, which is Tisiphone, in my opinion. So for Megara and Alecto, I will be saying that just learn the attacks and learn what they do. Play around them, watch other no hits if you need to see how to play around it, but just learn what they do, and it's a fairly easy boss. You shouldn't use Skelly for these ones. And for Tisiphone, it's a bit different. What you want to do, it depends. I mean, you can use Skelly here, or you can save Skelly for later. I personally use Skelly in these specific zones, which are Tisiphone. I use it for Lerny. I use it for Theseus and Asterius. I use it for Styx once, and I use it for Hades. And I already have used the 5 companions that I can. So that's it. What I do for Tisiphone is I start the fight and I place a scale in this zone behind this column, and I just go over here and wait for her to attack. And when I'm sure that she's focusing Skelly, I just shoot her and I kill her, and it's super easy. There's nothing else to say here, really. Okay, so for the Asphodel, same as before, learn and know every enemy attack, same as before. And then, what have I wrote here? What did I write here? And before starting, think about the gods you already have and use a keepsake if necessary to force one that you don't have yet. Okay, for example, if you have Zeus Poseidon, pick a keepsake to force either Artemis or Dionysus or any other figure. Or otherwise, pick whatever you think will be useful. Okay, so usually when you get to this zone, you already have 2 gods or 3. It depends. You usually have you already have Poseidon 100%, and you might have Zeus or Artemis. Usually you already have one of them. So if you have Zeus, you choose the keepsake to force Artemis, and vice versa. So that's how you want to play with the keepsakes. Other than that, this zone is pretty easy, so I won't be explaining much. Now, there are 2 fights that might be a bit difficult. One is the Witches Spreaders, and what you want to do is, I have a video showing what to do in this fight, but what you want to do is, you start here, and then you go to a side, shoot the witch that is going to be here, so she will be in the middle, and from there you can just shoot the ones and you can dodge easily. So I'll show the video. What I do is go to this side, I shoot this witch that was here, and I put it in the middle, and then it's easier to dodge now. I mean, I can just destroy it. Okay, that was not that well played, honestly. I mean, dashing over here was kind of dumb when I could just spray and destroy all the orbs. But it's the way I played it. But you see now, it's really easy to just dodge or destroy the orbs. It's not difficult at all. So no, it's not that I recommend using Skellies, that you don't really want to use it here. It's dumb as fun. So that's it. Now the fight is pretty easy. I just kill them. You know, I keep my distance, but it's really easy. Okay. Wait. No. I don't know why. And so the next zone that might be a bit troublesome is the boat. And I'll just give a few tips to fight there. One is that in the boat there are 3 bombs, so you can destroy them before any enemy spawns. So this way you won't have to worry about the bombs, since they don't respawn again. So just destroy the bombs and feel free to fight. And another one is that it's a fairly small zone, so it's kind of like Styx. In this zone, if you already have a strong cast, like let's say Poseidon's, spamming it will kill the enemies super quick, and it's a way to fight them. But that's pretty much it. Other than that, just learn how to play by playing. That's it. Now for learning, this fight is super easy. It's really easy up to this point. what you want to do is the boss has three phases. First one, which is just the head. Well, before explaining the phases, what you should do is learning what every head does and how they are different, and understand what every attack is. Pretty much what I say in in every zone is learn and know every enemy attack, learn and know every different head, and every different head's attack. And then for how to fight the different phases, for phase one, you just want to shoot. You keep a distance, try to dodge, and shoot the main head. And when it's already phasing, what you want to do is try to see one of these. You have to see this animation, and you want to burst the head that is coming. And after you have destroyed that head, you take that space to fight and dodge. It's fairly easy. We'll see it in the video at the end of the guide, but that's it. Other than that, when you reach phase 2, it's when you want to do what there is in these images. This is where you want to use Kelly. So what you do is you get around this zone kinda, and you shoot the main head, and when it's phasing or even a little before, you place Skelly, and you force it to phase by damaging it, and then you get into this right zone, and where you are in this right zone, there will be these two heads showing. So what you want to do is same as before, check the animation, and when the first one appears, you just burst one of them by using the special on the cast and the standard attack. It will last like two sequences. Like one will be special attack cast, and standard attack. So the armor will be gone, and the other one is gonna be just one standard attack if you're strong, or two at most. So it's pretty easy. And when you have destroyed these two heads, what you want to do is take this space up and just kill the rest, since they are going to be focusing Skelly, which will be in the other zone. So you just kill them by following this way, which is like this. Just go killing the other heads, and then you go for the main head, and it's easy peasy. You'll see it in the video, so no worries about it. Okay, for Elysium, same as before, you wanna learn and know every enemy attack. Just by playing the game, you will learn how to. And the other things to keep in mind is, by now you probably have 4 gods already. And so now the strategy is taking the money keepsake to have an extra boon in the shop. Usually this is the way to go, since the extra money will be useful in Styx anyway, if you don't spend it here in Elysium. So that's what you pretty much want to use almost 100% of the time. Anyway, if you still don't have every god that you need, you might still use a keepsake to force. Let's say you have Poseidon, Zeus, and I don't know, Ares. So what you want to do is choose Artemis keepsake to force her to appear. Okay, something to keep in mind is that trials of the gods are really tricky in this zone, especially there are a few zones that are super small, and it's pretty difficult to dodge. So unless you really want the boons, you shouldn't be going into trials of the gods. I mean, it depends you should try to go into them and see how it goes, but I don't really recommend it. Um, Anyway, if you feel like it, you can always use Skelly here in a Trial of the Gods and make it easier. But that's just the way to play. I don't really do that, but just try what is better to for you. Another enemy that might be kind of troublesome. It's fairly easy. It's the Minotaur. So he doesn't really do those many attacks. He actually only has two. One is the two slashes. He does two slashes, and then he jumps at you. So what you want to do is keep a distance with him. If you see him doing the two slashes, what you want to do is get in front of him, and when he jumps at you, just dash towards him. It's basically what I explained here. But you always keep a distance and see what attack he's doing. The other attack that he can do is the rush towards you. So there are two options, I think, for this attack in a way to dodge it. One is hugging the wall, and when he runs towards you, you have to dash towards him, so he gets hit with the wall, and that's where he stops. And the other one is hugging the wall and dashing towards the wall, so you get the invincibility. And this way, what you will have this way, I mean, the first one might be troublesome if you fail, since it's pretty easy to miss this one. I don't know why. It's pretty easy to miss doing option one, and he will just keep following you, and you might not be able to think that much where to go and get hit. So options two is a way to make sure that you don't get hit, especially if he's in phase two. After he rushes towards you, he will have a follow-up, which is these three attacks that he does. And if you dash towards him when you're hugging the wall, there's a chance that he hits you when you're running away. So hugging the wall and dashing towards the wall you will never get hit by the follow-up. So I recommend that you try. You go into a run and get to the Minotaur and just let him attack you, and just try to dodge him and see how it works. The first attack, it's fairly simple and there's no problem, but the rushing attack is actually a problem, and it's kind of inconsistent. So keep that in mind. Also, something that I haven't said about the first attack is that when he jumps at you, he might get blocked by a column, let's say. So if you dash towards him, keep in mind that this column might block him. So make sure to go further away than him. We'll see that in the video anyway. Okay. For Theseus and Asturius, this is the hardest part. In my opinion, Hades is not that difficult compared. It's difficult because of it being more inconsistent, not because it's harder, let's say. Okay, so the general strategy is taking the Minotaur first, of course keeping in mind the notes that I've written before. Playing in circles is usually a good idea, since what you want to do is have the Minotaur following you and use the columns to hide from the Theseus attacks and kill the Minotaur first. Other than that, it's a difficult fight, so you will have to deal with it. Sometimes I think this is the most critical zone, so practicing this part might be a good idea. Also, after you have killed the Minotaur, you want to use Skelly, but let me explain where. When Theseus is going into phase 2, when he already has this crystal around him that protects him, you place Skelly and you move behind him, and then you shoot him for free. If you have a call, you can use it so that you one-shot him, and it makes the fight super easy. That's it. We'll see it better in a fight because text is not really the way to explain this. And then going into Styx, this one is more tricky. I think it's not that difficult when you already know what to do, but you can't be that safe here. That's what makes it harder. In Tartarus, the enemies they are trash. They do nothing. They're super easy to dodge, but here they're a bit harder. So for small rooms, the first ones, the first 3-4 ones, what you want to do is have a cast such as Poseidon or Dionysus that does a lot of damage, and you get into the room. There's one thing that you can do, that is entering the room and pausing the game. So during that pause, what you do is analyze the situation. Okay, I have a small rat, I have a crystal, I don't know, whatever. You analyze the situation, and what you do is, okay, I will be using my cast, focusing, I don't know, the crystal, since it's the most dangerous. I don't know. You want to get into the room and analyze the situation, and then play accordingly. You don't wanna get into the room and start dashing. I mean, do not dash around. It's useless. That's not the way to be consistent and get the run. So anyway, I have a few tips for the specific enemies. For the small rats, you wanna get into a corner, and when you get into a corner, you just shoot them. There's nothing else you have to do. Do not dash. I mean, dashing around the room is gonna get you hit. You just go to a corner and spray them. That's it. Nothing more, nothing else. For the satyr, you can get behind a column, and that's it. You wait for them to attack, and then when they attack, you get out, shoot them, and kill them. Okay, for the crystals, the strategy is dashing behind them when they start attacking, but sometimes you can't do that since you are too far away or whatever. So if they start the attack, going to a side, dashing to a side is also a good idea. You have to play this yourself and realize take care when it's better to do one thing or the other. Also, by hitting them, you will stall them. They will get stunned, so you will stop their attack. That's also something to keep in mind. So you have to play around that. And for big rats, they're super easy. You just have to stay away from them. They can only attack from if you're close. So just keep a distance, and that's gonna be it pretty much. For big rooms, you want to use Skelly. Why? Because usually the back appears in the second room, that in the second zone that you go. Usually it's not 100%, but I don't know, most of the time it's gonna be like that. So you use Skelly when you get into the first zone and get to the mini boss or the big room. So what you want to do is place Skelly in a tricky zone, in a corner. Especially this zone is really good. Behind this chair there's a place where you can place Skelly. and the enemies won't be able to hit him. So you just go over here around and hit the enemies that will be focused on Skelly, and that's pretty easy. Other than that is placing Skelly in one side of the room and going to the other side of the room and hitting the enemies from behind. Okay, so for Hades last, it's I said before that this boss is easier than Theseus and Asterius. I really think so, because this one is really consistent. You can dodge pretty much everything. You're just focusing on dodging. Of course, you will get hit sometimes, but I will say that if you follow a nice build, if you have a nice build, it's fairly easy to kill him. So the way to play Hades is you play around the two columns that are in the middle, and you play around them. If Hades tries to attack you and he's behind you're behind a column, he will get stuck and won't advance, and he can't reach you. I mean, if you keep a distance, he can't reach you. So you have to play far away from him. That's how you want to move, at least. Okay. Another one is, by now there's a big change. You have lightning rod. So what you want to do is, well, I say it right here. You want to throw your casts against the columns and just dash away from Hades. That's what you want to do. Is you don't want to get hit, and you don't care that you're not doing standard attacks or special attacks. I mean, the lightning rod is gonna kill him, and you don't really have to do anything. Just stay away and dodge, and that's gonna be it. That's everything you have to do. Okay. Now, another thing to keep in mind is you have to destroy the skulls as soon as you see them. Otherwise, they explode and they become a problem. So this is your priority. You have to go for the skulls first. And then for Skelly, he can be used in two situations. One is when he summons the minions, or when he reaches second phase, because the bases are difficult to deal. So what I recommend is that you do a few runs, try Skelly with the minions, and try Skelly with second phase, and see if it's what's better for you. Usually people tend to go for the minion, since it's more things to keep in mind. It's pretty easy to dodge Hades alone, so I understand that people usually go for Skelly with the minions part. Anyway, another thing to keep in mind is that you can destroy the bases. So when he summons the bases, what you have to do is stay away from him, go as far as you can, get into a corner and destroy the bases that are near you, and you can use that new zone to dodge attacks. Or if he does this attack with the flames, you will be able to get behind a column and just get safe. Okay. You can dodge all his attacks by dashing towards him. That's it's riskier than keeping a distance, but in some situations you will need to do it. Okay, this is something to keep in mind. Sometimes there might be a situation where there's a school or something, or there's a base that you think it's dangerous. So dashing towards him works 100%. If he starts the attack and you dash towards him, especially if you have extra dashes, you will dodge him 100%. So this is another way to play around him. And the last tip I have is, I recommend to just get into a run, get to Hades, and just try to dodge him, so you understand the attacks he does, and you understand how to dodge the attacks, and it's a way to practice. So keep that in mind. Okay, and the last tip is gonna be, play the game and learn from the mistakes. And the presentation, that's gonna be everything for the presentation. right now I'm gonna be using a run, one of my runs, and I'll be explaining the thought process that they have while playing, so you can understand what you have to focus on. So let's go. First of all, I'm going to pick Poseidon's Keepsake. Okay. I start. Okay. Here I'm going to choose one of the improvements for the weapon. And as I said in the guide, these ones are trash. This one is okay, so I go for this one 100%. I don't know what I do in this run, but I think I will be sure of 95% of the decisions I take before I see them. This one, these enemies, I just keep a distance with them. These are traps to keep in mind. You can barely see them, but if you dash to them, you get hit, and that's not what you want. Okay, pretty easy. Next one, what is it? Poseidon's, because I forced him. Same as before, I see them spawn, I keep a distance. And this one is super easy as well. Get the money. This one I go for the standard attack, as I said. I go for this one because it's extra money and the other one doesn't give anything. Yeah. This is pretty much self-explanatory. You just stay away from them and just dodge the bombs. This one is not really difficult. Right now I go for the money because extra health is worth nothing in a no-hit run. Right. I stay away from them. And you see I spray them here. It's what I said before. You don't really have to go for attack, reload all the time. Sometimes it's good to just do that. To just spray. Same as before, I will stay in this zone because it's safe since the enemies are here. So I just keep a distance with them. Staying away is super important in this game when using this weapon, of course. I probably go for Aphrodite here. Yeah, Aphrodite is one of the filler gods that I like. This enemy is pretty easy. You see him show, you shoot him. Easy as fuck. Yeah, I'll go for special attack since it does a lot of damage. Aphrodite's special attack is 150% extra damage. That's a lot. I think it's the most damaging, so yeah. I don't know which one I go here. I probably go for the fruit since I only have 2 boons. And this way I can improve my standard attack, which is going to be my main source of damage. I'm fishing, okay, whatever. What did I choose? Ah, too bad. Anyway.
Come on out. That's one more fish for me.
Oh, I choose Aphrodite. I don't know why. Oh yeah, I chose Aphrodite. I know why. Because right now I can already have a duo boon, and the duo boon with Aphrodite and Poseidon is. Wait, let me show you. And here's Aphrodite. Poseidon is every bomb of power. It's gonna give me an extra bonus. So I wanna look for this as early as I can, so every bomb is more powerful. Okay. That's why I said that knowing the flow charts is important. So you can have this decision making. No luck. I reroll. Let's see if I have more luck here. No. Yeah, probably last one. I reroll again. Yeah, everything is trash. I don't want anything. I'll keep the middle one. The cast from Aphrodite is terrible compared to others, so yeah, it's a no. I'll stay away from them. Shoot this one so he doesn't shoot me. Yeah, I spray them. This way it's easier, since you can aim at just this cool base. It kind of sucks, but it's pretty difficult to aim that way. Yeah, what happened? What did they choose here? I don't know. Yeah, I took this movement speed because it's just 10 gold. And right here I go for the shop since I already have gold for a boon. So if I'm lucky, which I'm not really, if it was Artemis or Zeus, I would have taken it, but it's not. I just lose. It's just another zone that gives me nothing, but doesn't matter. Same here, stay away. I play in circles around the crystals. Yeah. If that was a coin test, I might go for it, since you usually get around 100, which is a lot. Okay. In these survive zones, usually what you do is dodge. Don't really try to kill the enemies, you just dodge. I mean, it's pretty easy to do. You don't want to attack them so they respawn, and right now I know where every enemy is and what the enemies are, so I just have to dodge accordingly, and that's it. I'll just skip it.
Time's up.
Yeah. I'll go for the shop. Let's see if in Cairns, well, there might be a, what's it called? Another extra use for the companion, so you usually look for that in Cairns. Well, if you are early. If you're late, then like for example Styx or even Elysium, some zones, maybe you want the standard attack boost, but other than that, you always look for the extra companion use. Have no luck, I'll take Hermes. Let's see if I get the extra dashes. I think I don't. These ones are not bad. The first one, let's say. Yeah, I don't really want to spend more. Yeah. And I go for the extra money. I mean, probably another Hermes will appear, so I'll take it later on. Right now it's not a problem. Okay, make it super easy. You stay away and you shoot. Yeah, right here I fucked up a little bit, but I managed to get it. But it's the same. You just stay away and shoot her. This boss is so easy. Yeah, that's it. Super easy. Okay.
Let's hear it, Father.
I'll go for Zeus probably here. If I'm missing gods, and I have to choose one that I want, and I have to choose between Zeus and Artemis. Usually we go for Zeus because the duo boon with Zeus is it's better than the duo boon with Artemis, since what it will do is you will do more damage with your standard attack, which is your main source of damage. So I prefer Zeus over Artemis. Yeah, right here, nothing. Yeah, I see that I have an Aphrodite boon that I can sell, and I just sell it because I don't need it for anything. That boon leads to what's it called? To a legendary, but I don't really like Aphrodite's legendary, so I just prefer the money.
More bloodless.
Yeah. Same with this. Stay away when they spawn. You dash away from them. See which enemy is. Get the money. Yeah, as I said, this is so easy. I'm gonna skip it. I don't know where the hell they are. Yeah, okay, maybe you wanna show this. Here I don't know where they are, so I'm trying to kind of move in a way that I dodge them. Okay, right now I feel that I'm kind of in danger, so I move around and I shoot them from the other side where there won't be skulls. But anyway, if I'm feeling that something is risky, I'll just get away as far as I can and rethink the situation. What's in here? This enemy is dumb as fuck. You just wait till he jumps at you. That's it. Yeah. I position myself in a good place where the other one can attack me, and that's pretty much it. Yeah. Right now I can have duo boons from Poseidon and Zeus, so that's pretty good. I chose the dash attack since I don't want to use the cast for Zeus. It's not really that good. And the core, I prefer Artemis, so when I get Artemis I will get her core.
The power of the gods.
Considering that in order to have duo boons, I must have one of these, either the standard attack, the special, the cast, the dash, or the core. So I will use Artemis core. I would save that position for Artemis.
That's a problem.
Yeah. This one's easy. Wait. You wait till he jumps at you. Go shooting the Medusa. It's pretty easy. Right now that you only have one, that's it. You wait till he jumps at you. Okay. This one's pretty good. Especially since I got it pretty early. Not the earliest, but it's okay. Yeah, that one was dangerous. I should have known that I couldn't dash to the upper side. I should have dodged towards the right, but the rest is pretty easy. I just stay in the center of this zone, and I see the attacks coming and dodge them and wait till they appear in my zone and shoot them. Okay. I stay away. I rethink the situation. Yeah. Now there are less schools. I just go and shoot straight. Yeah. Play around in circles, and that's it. That's 200, which is a lot. I will take that Infernal Gate many times. I don't know what I'm going to choose here. Hermes is so good. That's why I'm staying. I'm standing still. Hermes is really good for the extra dashes, but having, for example, Zeus Commotion is really good as well. And there's a big chance, since there won't be dual boons, that I will have the Commotion.
They're making me choose.
Yeah, let's see. I choose the Commotion, as I said. I'm predicting. Yeah, okay. Also, I chose Zeus 4 since Aphrodite is pretty easy to fight. Zeus is a bit more difficult since it won't allow you to dash everywhere, or we'll have less time to think where to dash.
She won't let us go. And now she's angry.
Yeah, this fight is pretty easy. Just see the heart coming. Dash away from it. Yeah. This is probably the worst enemy, this green motherfucker. Since if he's not in your screen, you don't see him, but he shoots you as well. So you really have to be careful when he is there. Yeah, I remember this. I choose the middle one, since I don't want any of this, and I don't really want a roar because nothing is worth. The dual boon is garbage. I don't want it, so I take the middle one because I sell it for more. Also difficult since I really want the extra dashes, but it might be Artemis and or maybe it's Poseidon's Raptor, which I don't have. Yeah, but it's trash. Nothing here.
I'll take it.
So nothing. I'll take the bomb since it's upgraded. I get 2 levels. And the learning fight. As I explained before. Shoot the main head. I usually position myself around this zone, this is the left zone. When I see it coming, yeah, I couldn't do it well, but it's fine. I get one head, I get in a safe position with this one. I mean, there was no head here. I know that there's this head here, and this head here, and there can only be 3. So this position is safe. So I stay there and fight. Now I go here. I shoot him a bit. Before he phases, I use Scary in that specific location. I shoot it, it starts phasing, and I burst his head. I take that position and I shoot the rest. And then I shoot the rest just by walking. There's no... It's super easy, this part. They won't do anything to you. You see, you dodge that, stay away from it. He's still attacking Scary. I mean, how easy it is. It's so easy to dodge this. That's it, okay, let's go. Yeah, I go Cannons well. Right now I don't have Artemis, so it's 100% what I'm gonna do. Okay. Right now, this one is, yeah, Hermes. I want the extra dashes. The hammer is gonna show anyway later on, but I really prefer the extra dashes over the hammer. And the hammer is going to show all the time onto Styx. If it doesn't show onto Styx, it's gonna be in Styx, 100%. So you don't really have to worry about getting the hammers, at least early, if the other door is good, of course. Let's pray for the extra dashes. Yeah, there it is. There's something to keep in mind is that if you get a what's it called? A dash attack, it activates traps, so be careful with that as well. Stay away from them, shoot them, I know what they do. Either they attack when they are close, or they will throw this, what's it called, this wave. That is super easy to dodge to a side. Yeah, that attack. Stay safe and hit him. Yeah, trying to find gold and Artemis because I don't care about the hammer. I want to have the 4 gods as soon as I can. Especially now that I already have Poseidon Zeus. And the dual boons are gonna be so great to have. Yeah. I stay in a safe position. They can only attack me if they get near me, so I stay there and shoot them. I don't really need to move around this one. Yeah. I'm going for the call 100%. I take it. Yeah, sure. And now it's this situation where I said before that you might have a shop and you might have a boon. So I will take the shop and the next one is going to be a boon 100%. You'll see. I think I took some time to think. Yeah, there it is. I took some time to think because the next boons that show might have been Aphrodite, and I really want Poseidon, but I think it's okay to risk it and go for 2 rather than 1. I'll take it whatever I have a lot of money, even though I don't care that much about what's it called? About Aphrodite. Yeah, this fight you wanna focus the ball. Yeah, I got hit there. That was pretty terribly played. After that, you try to stay safe where it froze.
In the name of Hades.
Right now, let's see if there's a duo boon. Well, these ones are great as well. I mean, everything is good here. Rotor is super good since it will do more damage to bosses. And more damage to Hades is really good in here. Okay. Okay, I had to stop recording, but I'm back. Right now, I saw that my build is pretty nice, but the only thing I don't have are dual boons. But so far I could make it to Styx, so my only problem right now with the build is Hades. So my focus is going to be trying to find dual wounds all the time. As always, I don't move that much in fights. I wait for enemies to come to me instead of trying to look for them. Yeah, that goes in awkward position, but anyway. Thanks to Poseidon's knockback, it's pretty easy to control the enemies and stay in a position that is safe for you. I really hate these butterflies, they're kind of tricky sometimes. Probably this one. I think I would upgrade Artemis Call, since it will do a lot of damage when it's fully charged. I mean, getting extra 6% damage won't really change much, but having that extra burst from the call is gonna be really useful for bosses. There's not much to come in here. I just stay away and try to kill the enemies while keeping a distance. Okay, that's it. I'm going for the money. The other one gives nothing. I do have a lot of money, but it's okay, since when you get the Styx, there's usually like 2-3 things you can buy in the shop, so it's fine. You never have too much money. I mean, there's something I want to comment here, and it's that sometimes these enemies, these soldiers, let's say, look at this, at what they do. I mean, I shot him and he rebounds to this position. I mean, let's look at this. And this is something that happens sometimes, and it's not dangerous with the spear ones, but with the sword ones that have a close attack that it's instant. Look at this, I shot this guy here, and this one was here, and he came up to this position just because of the rebound. And sometimes they get bugged and they jump around the room like in a really weird way. So if this was a sword one, I might have been in trouble, since they have an instant close attack. So be careful when in these zones when dealing with sword ones. Just because the game is kind of bugsome. Yeah, I don't care. I'd rather stay away and take more time to complete the room than to try and greed and go faster. There's no need to rush. Let's hope for duo. No luck, but Raptor is good as well, so maybe I take it and try to find duo wounds later on. Right. Raptor is really good as well. Now for this fight, You have to focus the Minotaur. Yeah. I wait for them. He's gonna throw me the Zeus. Yeah, I know that. And that's the thing I said in the guide. You can dodge towards the wall, and it's gonna be safer in the end. Especially in phase 2. I mean, because sometimes it behaves weird. That attack is kind of weird. I'll probably do the same. Yeah, you see that. I move around in circles, so it's easier to dodge. Yeah, this was a problem. It's what they said. Sometimes he might get stuck in columns. But I mean, it's fine since I had 3 dashes, so I had a lot of invulnerability. I'll do the same probably. Oh, yeah. He gets stuck there. Oh, it froze a bit. But yeah, you stay a bit away. Wait for him to do 2 slashes or whatever attack. Yeah, it's finished. He was going for that attack where he crashes with Theseus and it does like an explosion. Right now Theseus is really easy. Just wait till he throws the spears at you and then punish. Look at how much damage Raptor is doing to him. Like I shoot, and whenever he moves, he takes a lot of damage. I can hear. You saw it. Yes, so now he faced, and I play Skelly, get myself behind him, and I just shoot, there's no problem unless he deletes Skelly. Which I think happens here. No. I've been lucky. Like, if I had more damage I could burst him faster, so every attack is focused on Skelly, so there's no problem at all.
Seems I had best prepare myself at this rate.
Have to use the fountain. Now I will check out what's in Charon's Well, and if there's something good like there is now, I'll probably go for the keepsake that lets you that gives you more uses of every item in the well. Since it gives 30% to standard attack, it's really good. It could give me like 40 uses, which it's probably going to allow me to use them up until Hades. So it's the best option right here.
Should be useful.
And later on I might find another one that might be useful. Like the cast. I might get an extra cast later on. I might not, but I don't know why I stopped. There's a lot of money usually in these jars on the floor. Yeah, I've been pretty lucky. There are 3 boons and I might need all 3 of them. I go for Zeus since I want one with Artemis and one with Poseidon, so it's the best choice right now. I got this one, it's not really that great, honestly. This one is a bit better. And I'll try to go for Lightning Rod, since it's the best. No luck though, but it is what it is. Right now I might go for extra credit or the arrows, the fourth one. Since I only do crit damage with my core.
Which tunnel?
I see what I'm missing. I'm missing Lightning Rod. I might as well go into Zeus or Artemis, but I'm also missing Poseidon's and Zeus one, so this one might give me 2 dual boons, while Artemis might only give me 1. As I said, I get into the rooms, I analyze the situation, I saw there are rats, I only have to keep a distance with them. They're pretty easy to deal with. Yeah, this room was super easy as well. These enemies are the best you can find, they do nothing pretty much. They're not a problem at all. Yeah, for this one there was a satyr. I get behind a column, kill him, kill the other one. I don't know what else was there. I don't know what the other enemy was. So I just stay behind the column. And this enemy, I usually never go for mini bosses. So I didn't know what he does. Otherwise it would have played a bit different. I mean, I would have played Skelly as well. But yeah, I got hit there because I don't know what he does. If I knew what he does, what I would have done is play Skelly, wait till he does the lasers, attack, and wait till he attacks again. Yeah. Now I go for lightning rod, that's really good. I keep moving. So far I have 2 hits, I think, in this run. I mean, it's one that I recorded just for the video, but yeah, so far it's not that bad. 2 hits and they are pretty dumb. Just so you see that you can be pretty consistent in this. Yeah, again, I get into a room, I see what there is. You might pause the game if you need some time to think about the strategy or a plan. But I don't really do it, I don't know. I think it's kind of cheating, to be honest. Yeah, again, rats. And I already find it. It's usually in the second room that you get, as I said. Yeah, I'm checking what they have. I could go for the last one probably. It's the best right now. I only do damage with... I mean, I only do crit with my call. So I'd rather get more damage when I get some crits than... I'm not gonna be bouncing, which is what you want when you pick the first one that showed there. Yeah. I go for the call since I don't use special here. Anyway, I realized that there were no small rats fights, so I have another example. It's minute 33. I'll try to show it since I have another run. Yeah, well, right here. To show you what you have to do when there are small rats. And it's not dashing around. Right now I get into this room and I see that there are rats. I'll probably go to this corner, stay there and spray. Yeah. Did I get hit? No, I didn't. Yeah, you see I get in the corner and just shoot. You don't have to move around the room. Yeah. I'm gonna show the other one. I was minute 33. Yeah, right here. Before Hades. Blah blah. I throw him like 2 casts. Oh, I throw 3. It's not that great because I have lightning rod. If I shoot a cast to a column, I already get the damage. I mean, it's fine. This part is so easy to dodge. You see right now that the casts are out. Lightning Rod is gonna do a lot of damage to him. He spawns the minions. The first one is kinda easy since it's alone. He's already dead. I mean, I shot him like 4 times. And Lightning Rod did a lot of damage. Yeah. Use the cast against the golem, get the damage. Look at how much damage it's doing. Like every time I'm not shooting him, it's the lightning rod doing the damage. Get into the 2 minions. I use Skelly. Yeah, look at the damage. I mean, it's so broken on lightning rod. Yeah, it wasn't that greatly played, honestly. I wait for lightning rod to do a lot of damage. Since it has commotion, it does so much damage. Wait. Yeah, I kill the bases, so now I can freely move around, no problem. Yeah, usually getting a cast into Hades is good since you will do more damage to him as well. Like it's 50% more from a mirror effect. You have to be careful with the bases. Every attack, well, not every attack, but many attacks destroy the bases. Now I risk a bit there, but you see the fight. I just run around these columns, try to stay away from him as much as you can. Wait for him to attack, and you attack from a distance, and he can't reach you with any attack. Only attack he can do to reach you is that infernal attack, fire attack, let's say. And the only thing you have to do is get behind a column. The problem you might have in that situation is if you have like the dash attack that might destroy bases, and that's the only problem you can have in this fight. It's pretty easy actually. And that's pretty much it. He's already dead. I mean, it was a random run. And I got 2 hits, just so you see that you can be super consistent in this. I mean, I got hit this one, but it's whatever. So that's it for the guide. I hope you learned something. Basically, that's it. The only tip I have that, well, I have already said this, but you just have to play the game and see where you got hit, learn from it, and that's pretty much it. For the build, it's basically what you might not. It's something that you might not know, like some stuff like there are only 4 gods. That stuff you might not realize if you're just playing by yourself, but that's what this guide is for. So good luck in your run, and that's it.